What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Duran Duran. We're going back to their 1997 album Medazzaland for another bonus track, and this is one that not only did Izzy send me, but Philip has also given me access to. So once again, shout out to both of them, as well as a few other people, Seb and I'm trying to remember, Eli, like a few of you have sent me material or given me access to it. So once again, big ups to all of you, and in this case, Izzy and Philip in particular. But yeah, we're going to listen to Out of My Mind, the Perfecto mix. And it's funny, like, as someone who's been listening to trance of different styles for a long time, it's interesting. I knew of the label Perfecto, and I knew that Paul Oakenfold was sort of one of the main artists on the label, and that a lot of his output is on Perfecto. As I mentioned to Izzy in one of the comment sections, one of my favorite psytrance producers, Man With No Name, which I not only love his productions, but I like the sort of, the idea of an egoless person, someone who does not attach a label to themselves. But no, Man With No Name, whose real name is Martin Freeland, but yeah, he released a lot of his material on Perfecto, especially like as in the later half of the 90s. I think a lot of his stuff before that was on, I don't know if it was Transient, but a different UK label that was more heavy into psytrance. But yeah, eventually Man With No Name was on Perfecto. But I didn't know that like there were Perfecto remixes of like pop tunes and, like more normal music, if you will. Again, like I go back to my raving days began in the mid to late 90s, got into the music late 96, acid techno, acid trance in particular, although Goa trance was my initial point of introduction through my older brother. But I got into trance, but it was like, harder trance, acid trance, names like Pablo Gargano, Michael Kors, and so on, Kai Tracid. But I did know who Paul Oakenfold was by the time I got my turntables in '98. And he and someone like, say, Paul Van Dyke, their style of trance, this melodic sort of like, really sort of like emotional, kind of like powerful trance. At the time we were calling it progressive trance. I think over time, like, that label doesn't get used as much. It's more just like melodic trance. But basically, I knew who Oakenfold was, but I don't actually have. I think I maybe have one Oakenfold record, like maybe two Paul Van Dyke records. That style of trance I never actually got into in terms of buying it. So I totally enjoy a lot of Oakie's tunes, as people in the trance world have called him. But I never knew that Steve Osbourne was, another person who was, fundamental in terms of, driving the label. I think it was basically Oakenfold and Osbourne in charge of the label. So yeah, I didn't know, as I said, that it wasn't just Oakenfold sort of running Perfecto, the label, and I also didn't know that he and Osbourne did mixes together of, again, like pop tunes and sort of like electronic dance music. So yeah, we're going to listen to Out of My Mind, a tune, the Perfecto mix, a tune remixed by Osbourne and Oakenfold. So yeah, it's interesting. Like, I expected to have trance vibes. I have to say, I've listened to this album quite a bit since finishing doing the reactions, and it's one of my favorite tunes on the album. I really enjoy the sound. It's another one where I think Simon's vocals come across just brilliantly. He sounds great. So it'll be interesting to hear this sort of reconfigured into what I assume is going to be more of a dance floor track, even if it's not necessarily like progressive melodic trance exactly in the style of the Perfecto label as I'm sort of remembering it, with, again, semi-limited interaction. Again, labels that I were following were like Eve and Noom in the UK and Time Unlimited in Germany and so on. So again, my trance experience is a little bit outside of the Oakenfold Perfecto world, but that's kind of what I expect to hear here. But given what the original sonic elements to work with, it might have a bit more of a mysterious or sort of just a different vibe than the kind of like emotional trance that I think of when I think of Oakenfold. So again, shout out to Oakenfold and Osbourne, shout out to Duran Duran for an excellent original, but let's get to it. This is from the 1997 album, but remixed by Perfecto, Out of My Mind. So maybe not that kind of trance vibe. Ooh. see, but this might even be better than the original. Oh, listen to that low end. Brooding, churning. A little acid sting is like a cheat code, right? Use acid in your tune, I'm gonna like it. That soaring, almost like too bright to look at synth layer. Forget about it. I understand why a couple of you were waiting for this. I do get it. My God. I knew there was going to be like a shift, but like... These are like... There's that big bright layer, there's the beeping like tonal layer. But it's like extraterrestrial language, like it's a language spoken by celestial beings. Like oscillating, like chopped up synth layer. Gurgling with acid, shooting lasers, and apparently a banshee flying overhead right at the end. Brilliant. As I said, I love the original track, and I was reminded of this track in the comments a couple days ago, and shout out to both Izzy and Seb, who were like, hey, like, don't rush, you're doing videos, and we appreciate it. So I appreciate you just in general, but also for saying that. But I do get why you were keen to hear this, and again, I listened to the original. I made a point to listen to it earlier today, just to kind of, okay, I've got the original in my head again, but yeah, this is like, it goes to a different place, certainly, but it's like it takes the ingredients of the original and makes this unbelievable, like, aural, gourmet meal that I was not prepared for. And again, like, part of it is, I think I was going into it expecting to maybe hear a more trance-like tune. Maybe not necessarily like a full-born, like, tune like that I'd expect to buy on like an EP on Perfecto, with an Oakenfold trance tune from '97, but I did expect something a little more in that vein. But this was like this, syncopated, it was like, down-tempo hip-hop, but with this like grinding like bass, and then like those, I don't know if it was like the chorus itself or the like pre-chorus, but basically the like soaring sections where it would just take off, and again there was like that really high, like, flared out synth layer that, again, like, my brain sort of hears it as like it's so bright you can almost like not look at it, because it's just like this, again, like celestial level of like sound that humans, might not be able to listen to easily. But yeah, I think it was brilliant, and again, maybe at the risk of blasphemy, or at least heresy, I will say that it hit me perhaps even stronger than the original, though again, maybe because I went into it thinking it was going to be something else. And sometimes when you're surprised by something, it can like especially sort of like enrapture your mind in the moment. So again, I love the original, but this was special, and I do get why some of you were waiting to hear it. So yeah, let me know what you think, if you have heard that or if you haven't. And again, shout out to Oakenfold and Osbourne for a really cool remix, one that sort of, again, exceeded my expectations and defied them at the same time. So yeah, big ups to them, big ups to Duran for the original, of course, and for this wonderful album. I know it's not everyone's favorite, but I really do love the Medazzaland album, so shout out to them. And yeah, let me know what you think. Other than that, I'll see you next time. Peace.